Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Omar Brownson, co-founder of G Thanks.
Hi, I'm Belinda Liu. I'm the co-founder of Gratitude Blooming.
We're delighted to be with you today, particularly with this week's theme on healing and today's Earth Day. And it's this idea for me that the only way that we can really heal our planet is through healing our hearts. And so I don't know if Belinda, you had planned this week's theme around healing tied to Earth Day, but I absolutely love it because our hearts are absolutely intertwined with our planet, and how we take care of one certainly I think reflects how well we take care of the other. And so for me, this week's theme is just super resonant. And being able to see our email go out today with being able to name that idea of our hearts and our planet and how we take care of them was like, all right, this is a good sign and omen. So thank you, Belinda, for that beautiful theme.
Oh, that's wasn't planned, but it's synchronistic as always.
Perfect. Well, we want to welcome you, Caroline, Nicole, for being with us today. The gratitude circle is in some ways an unexpected place, because the way that we sort of think about gratitude is really about wholeness. And so it's not just about saying thank you. It's really about what are we noticing? And so if mindfulness is about noticing change and meditation is noticing each breath, gratitude is about noticing good, at least as a starting point. And that's what we really are practicing, is our noticing. And we do that in a circle, there's an acceleration of then the benefits of gratitude. And so the idea of self-care, shared connection, synchronicity really accelerate when we move from just an individual practice to a collective practice. And we are able to sort of hold this space in a different way. And so we just want to really be clear that, some people look at a gratitude circle and like, oh, we're just going to go around and say thank you. And I think if you've joined us before, you know that that's not how we roll. And if this is your first time, we really appreciate you joining us, and really, I would say, experiencing a new kind of bravery, because there's a little bit of vulnerability and openness that comes through this practice. So we'll begin with a meditation from Belinda. And then after the meditation, we will use the gratitude blooming cards with the artist illustrated nature inspired pieces and prompts to just check in with how we feel with what the card reveals. And that ability to just kind of check in using the card really creates, I would say, a safe place for us to think about what we need, how we are showing up in our relationships, and really being open to life, what we like to call synchronicity. And then we'll close.
Well, let's really take this time for our own healing today, and just really give yourself some gratitude for showing up for you today, for your own well-being and your own healing and self-care. And this meditation is really inspired by this idea of self-friendship and self-care as part of our healing. So in this moment, just start to take a few breaths at your own pace and just check in with your body. Where are you holding tension in your physical body? Can you allow that to release just a little bit today? And just making adjustments to the way that you're sitting. If you feel like you need to get a little bit more comfortable, Just checking in with our physical body today as we breathe together and connect with our hearts, and, as a gesture of self-friendship. So I invite you to breathe in energy of the earth. You can imagine that as a golden light if it's helpful for you. And breathing it in, feeling that extra energy and vitality coming in from this moment. And as you exhale, just soften even further into your body today. Breathing in energy from the earth. And release. Breathing in. Release. As you breathe, just imagining this breath as a gift for your body. As you inhale, fully receiving the gift of life. As you exhale, letting go of anything you want to let go of in this moment. It can be a feeling or a tension or something that's worrying you right now. Just let that be released. Breathing in. Letting go. And for this next round of breath, let's send our love and attention to our hearts today. So as you breathe, focus the energy going into your heart. Giving nourishment and sending peace to your heart today. And just allowing yourself to get even softer into your heart. Breathing in energy, vitality, and peace. Releasing with your exhale. Imagine that there is a door that leads you into your heart. Take a moment to imagine what that door into your heart looks like today. Is that door made of wood, metal, glass? Take your time to really visualize that gateway to your heart. Notice if there are any colors that show up on this door. Are there any plants or trees or aspects of nature growing around this door? Letting your imagination take you today as you examine the door to your heart, what it feels like to admire that door, and slowly open that door into your heart. And as you open up your heart, take a moment to step inside and just receive any emotions or feelings or colors that you see in your heart. Does it feel expansive? Or does it feel smaller and more protective today? Just noticing what that space feels like in your heart. Imagine new growth coming into your heart. It can be a plant or a tree or flowers that grow. Just imagine, what is it like when your heart is open and blooming? What would that flower or plant look like as it grows and expands with your breath? Breathing in and expanding. Just giving gratitude for your heart today. It's a form of self-friendship. Just notice if there's anything that you're feeling or sensing that your heart needs in this space. And just soak in the beauty of the growth and the blooming in your heart. And when you feel ready, just know that you can always come back to this door to your heart whenever you need to connect with yourself. And now we'll just step out of that door and gradually come back to this beautiful circle of hearts. As we open ourselves up to receiving peace and balance and healing today from the space of this circle. And as we begin to transition to the circle, Just want to offer up 3 ways of being in this space, just to honor ourselves and each other. And the first way of being is just really to trust in your own inner guide, yourself as your own best teacher. And the second is to not worry about fixing, saving, or advising anyone else in this space, because we are each our own teacher and guide. And the third way of being is to really honor silence as a participant in this circle, even if it feels uncomfortable to have long periods of silence. Just knowing that that's the time that we need to process and digest whatever's coming through in this space.
All right. Gardenia, number 31, gentleness. Being kind to yourself and others can be a way to show gratitude. What would it look like to live with more gentleness?
I just have to share that the smell of gardenia is so, so fragrant. And every time I smell this flower, it reminds me of my grandmother on my mother's side of the family. And um, growing up in Taiwan as a child, she was the one that basically took care of me while my mom was working. And I feel like my grandmother was the embodiment of gentleness. She just loved with such an open heart, just like how this plant is open in the picture. And I don't think I ever saw her show anger towards me, even though I was pretty naughty. She just loved me unconditionally. So I guess my answer to the question, looking at it now, is just how can I like love myself more? How can I really live into that from the heart centered place? Mm.
This is cool. We're getting some new cards today. I don't feel like we've had gentleness before or a celebration. Number 29, bouquet, celebration. Take a moment to remember what it feels like to celebrate. How can you celebrate the people, places, and things in your life? Well, I'll go. What came to me is sort of with that question, how can you celebrate the people, places, and things in your life? I think it's with time. I think that's how I can celebrate, particularly people. Um, Today's was the first day of school in person for my youngest daughter. And last week, kind of in anticipation of this day, I just was like, oof. In many ways, COVID was difficult on a lot of different fronts. But on the other hand, I got to spend actually a ton of time with my 2 daughters and my wife in a way that I would never have gotten to otherwise. And so it was great to have my daughter come back today from after school, and she was super delighted. And she's like, my teacher's way taller than I would have ever expected, because she'd only seen her teacher at Zoom height. And and she said that I could raise my hand, I couldn't turn my video off, and can I go back tomorrow? And so I'm celebrating that maybe there's a light at the end of this tunnel, but at the same time, having appreciated a little bit of the time we had together in that tunnel, in a beautiful way.
I liked the word remember, because I think for me, finding peace, if I can remember the celebrations and remember one day at a time, you just put one foot in forward, and that's key to getting through all the stresses that we've been having. And that card gives me peace.
What I'm appreciating about this card is this the only one that's not actually just a flower or plant of the
It's
39?
it's a community of plants.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of just from a bouquet is just the collection of these flowers. And so to me, it's just sort of, it's an interesting transition of just from nature to people in some ways. And what is it that we bring together? And that's what's sort of uniquely very human, is just to sort of be able to like take some flowers and then all of a sudden they've been transformed from a human perspective into something different. So I'm appreciating that this card is sort of a little bit different than the other ones. Number 11, Dogtooth Violet, Curiosity. Try being curious about something that feels uncomfortable to you. How can curiosity shed a light of understanding on something you fear?
It's interesting. I think what's coming up for me, the transition between celebration to curiosity is like, can I celebrate discomfort? Which is hard because I don't think anybody would sign up for discomfort, and it's interesting because we've all been enlisted to be uncomfortable with this pandemic and everything that's been happening. And even just, what's going to happen with the planet? I was think about Earth Day today. It's like, we don't know, and it feels edgy to transition from feeling celebration to feeling uncomfortable. And it seems like curiosity is the bridge. Like if I think about what I said about celebration being like the delight of planning a party for a friend or planning an experience, and how delightful and fun that is, like, can I also approach fear and discomfort with that same level of curiosity and delight? Like, well, maybe something's here, maybe there's something for me to learn, or can this be fun to some extent, and it kind of starts to make it seem less like black or white. Maybe I can play in the gray around my discomfort.
When I see this card compared to the celebratory card we have, it makes me think on your perception of events or what's going on. And if you can change your perspective of how something is occurring in your life, whether you can be curious about it or celebratory about it, changes your reaction path. And I like the word curiosity, helping you get you through your uncomfortable events.
Well, I feel like this card is inspiring something new that Omar and I wanted to try with you all. So we wanted to invite someone, a brave soul, to share a question or intention that you have for this time in your life. Could be related to a relationship. It could be related to something you're going through in your life. It can be something with your work, an inquiry or an intention. And we would like for you to pick a card related to that and just see what wants to emerge for you in terms of an insight, and just also for us to learn from the question and the insight. So I'm just curious if there's anyone, especially someone who hasn't picked a card yet, if you want to share an inquiry or intention, and pick a card for yourself so we can support that awareness and that
See what
perspective.
nature has to say. Well, I'll try it, and nobody else wants to go.
You start. You be a curious cat.
What does this Thankful Thursday series want to become? That's gonna be my and I'm just gonna use time. So it says 53. So we'll go 5th row, 3rd column over. If that's 5, yeah. See what. Dang. Number 6, tenacity, dandelion. Can you appreciate the time and effort required to nurture the things you truly love? I guess that's yeah, I think this is just like being tenacious about these Thankful Thursdays and really continuing to put the time and effort to nurture this. How awesome is that? And this is my favorite flower for 2021, because I, as part of my daily practices, was been noticing the dandelions in my yard. And what I don't think I fully appreciated was that these yellow things become those white puffballs. And like, I just, when people, particularly in these kind of spaces, love using like butterflies as metaphor for transformation, right? You're like, oh, I go from a caterpillar to the chrysalis to the beautiful butterfly, and I don't think the dandelion does that too. Like in some ways, a more magical way, right? Like this plant, literally, and I've never been able to see it in an in between stage, right? Like I've never been. It's like either this beautiful yellow flower, or all of a sudden, like in the next day, it's just this beautiful white puffball. And there's something about maybe for this, the question or the inquiry and the tenacity was when it becomes that puffball, it's actually seeding. And so what does it look like to seed like a dandelion? That was pretty cool. Thank you. Gratitude Blooming Deck.
I would like to ask the question of balance. What is it that I need right now to feel in balance in my life? And I'm going to go 4th row, 4th card.
There we go. Oh.
Ooh. This is supposed to be the love card, even though it says sorrow. Sorrow can come from the courage to love. Acknowledge the bravery behind any sorrow you notice or feel. And feel like the message is to not shy away from love and loving the things that I do, even if I fear failure. Just like being that open, regardless of what the outcome is. And the name of this plant is also the impatient. So there is something around patience, I think, too, just made that connection recently, that's that plant. So something to patience. And it helps me be balanced.
So I invite you to just get comfortable. We're going to only just do 3 breaths. This is not a long meditation, but just center for a moment within yourself in a way that is comfortable to you. And for this first breath, I just invite you to look back over the last hour and just notice any positive emotion that was, or a memory or a card. Just savor that feeling. And this next breath, what emotion, feeling might have just been a little charged for you? And I invite you to compost that feeling. And
Omar, your voice is cut, audio is cut out right now. So for this third breath, just think about what you want to take with you from this circle and hold it in your heart for the rest of the week. So much gratitude for you all and being here, being present, and the bravery of being vulnerable in this new kind of way. And we really hope to see you again. We're here every Thursday. We're tenacious dandelions.
And I would just say that as we also close, and hopefully, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, great. Is partly why Belinda and I call this a gratitude circle. One is that gratitude sort of has moved our hearts. 2 is that we've built practices, and whether it's the gratitude blooming cards or our G Thanks app, these are things that you can do in your daily life. But the circle is something unique. And like I said at the beginning, is an accelerant. So whatever calm, love, healing you're trying to feel, there's something sort of powerful or an amplifier that happens when we can do this together. But it's the daily practice, these like anchoring moments in these circles, and then hopefully soon retreats again, that we can create this space to take care of ourselves and to take care of our planet. So thank you.
Thank you all for being here.
Cheers.